Hello, welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and I'm sure you can already guess that this resin video is going to have something to do with flowers again. I do love flowers in resin. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how a quick and easy way of just pressing flowers that's fabulous. And we will come back to this in this video over really probably the next week to 10 days, so I can show you how they're getting on. So beautiful, good colours. So what I'll do to prepare these is I will cut them really short to start with. I try and pick them when they're as fresh as possible, because that way I find I get the best results from them. Buy any fancy smancy presses or anything. What I have here is 2 pieces of thin MDF. They're very smooth on that side. These are easily available on Amazon. I will put the link to them, which is 16.5 inches width by 11.5 inches in depth, and I think they're about 3 millimeters in thickness. So what I do first is I have a bit of parchment paper or greaseproof paper or whatever you like, just cut down to size really, and I put that on there to make sure it's nice and flat, and it is. I'm just really going to make a sandwich. So I've got 2 pieces of kitchen roll, and to be honest, I have done this without the parchment paper without any problems whatsoever. But sometimes on more delicate flowers, what happens is the pattern on your kitchen paper can impress itself into the petals. It doesn't tend to happen with orchids so much, but it does with some of the flowers. Also, they can stick to them. So I put that there like that. The greaseproof paper on top of that. Okay. Then I put my flowers around like this, nice and easy. And these do go beautiful in resin. Before I do the next layer, what I tend to do is I tend to push these down into the shape, rough shape that I want them. What I do is I will put another layer of greaseproof paper, and I will push that down a little bit with my hand like that. 2 more sheets of kitchen roll on top of that. Then I will go for my second flat board, like so, and then I will push that down gently as well, like that. And what you want is, you don't want this to be moving around once you've got it set up, as you're using this cheap method rather than spending a fortune on a press that you really don't need. Some normal elastic bands, like so, and then I put the elastic bands around it. And that means that I can move this about without too much worry of disturbing the flowers in there. And then on top of that, what I will do is I will put a weight on top of that. These have now had a week. So I've taken it out of the card, out of the board, and I'm just going to take these off. Now, do this quite gently, just in case it has stuck to any of them. Now, they're not ready yet because they do still look a little bit wet. What I'll do is I'll probably leave these about another week, and it's not a quick process. It's not as quick as using silica. Well, these have had 2 weeks now, so they should be ready. Now, sometimes they do stick to the parchment paper a little bit, but not too bad. There we go. So they're nice and dry. Before I use them is I will certainly ensure that I seal them, and I will show you how I seal them in a minute. But the other thing I'm going to show you at the end of this video is how I store my dried flowers, because I think it's important once you've dried them to be able to store them for quite a while. So I'm going to seal them with this, and you can use Kmart as well, but don't forget, whenever you're sealing anything, don't overdo it. And the reason I usually seal fresh flowers before I put them in resin is when they're white like this, or the white bits on it, sometimes that gets lost in the actual resin itself. I will literally just give them a light spray while they're still on the parchment. So I store my dried flowers in just a plastic pot like this that has really quite a good airtight seal on it. And what I do is I make myself a little silica bag out of some tissue paper and some silica. So I just put my silica in there, like so. And that should be enough just to get rid of the moisture that you might get in there, or that might get to your little dried flowers. And so it doesn't make a mess, what I'll do is I will go along it like this with my glue gun. Okay, I'll get that nice and hot, and then I will literally just fold this edge over, almost like making a pie. Okay, stick that in like so. You could use tape for this, you don't need to use hot glue. I'll turn that bit over there and put another little dab of glue on it. And then what I'll do is I will pop that into my little plastic pot. There we go, I'll just pop that in the middle. And then I'll get my little flowers that I've dried. There's a rose there and some other petals and things that I dry. And I'll just pop that inside there like that. And what you'll find is that that'll be enough to keep those really quite well dry. They won't take on any other moisture because it will just go into there. And then these ones, I will just lay them in there as well. And I'll just lay them in where I want them. And then they're ready for when I need some dried flowers or some pressed flowers to make a project. There we go, that's how easy it is to press flowers ready for resin projects. And if you like this, I've got a series on using flowers in resin that you can see if you tap the link above. If you enjoy using resin and you want to use flowers in it, please leave me a #flower in the comments, and also hit that like button to tell me that you also want to use flowers. Pop the lid on and put them in a cool, dry place, and then we're all good to go.